Welcome back everyone to the Minnesota Twins franchise here on MLB The Show 17. We are 30 games into the season and continue on here in the month of May. And in this episode, I wanted to focus on our starting rotation and spend some time with some pitchers that we haven't really seen a lot of so far, both Kyle Gibson and the lefty Hector Santiago. We're trying to find some pieces we can build around in this rotation, and I'm not sure that we've really been seeing any throughout the beginning of this series. So we had that exciting win against Chris Sale and the Red Sox during last episode, and I thought we could maybe go and win this series here with our offense playing well. But Boston hit a grand slam in the first inning off the bat of Chris Young, and we never were able to get our offense going ourselves, as Rick Porcello throws a complete game 3-hitter, and we dropped 2 of 3 against the Red Sox, which was nowhere near as disappointing as dropping 2 of 3 to the previously 4-26 Chicago White Sox. Then Cleveland took 2 of 3 from us. We've now lost 5 straight series. And that takes us to our first interleague series of the season against the Colorado Rockies, and we get some bad news here beforehand as Jorge Polanco gets hurt before the game. So Eduardo Escobar has to take over the role as the starting shortstop. So here are your 14-23 Minnesota Twins taking on the 21-18 Colorado Rockies. I like seeing a lot of these pitchers get those tough tests, and Colorado has a great lineup. So a big test for Kyle Gibson, who came in with an 0-4 record, 5.61 ERA, and only 19 strikeouts in 33 2/3 innings. Certainly not playing up to expectations, especially after a 3.84 ERA a couple years ago when he used to be one of the top prospects for the Twins. So Charlie Blackmon reaches after hitting Gibson, and then a base hit to right by DJ Lemahieu. Lemahieu came in swinging a cold bat, but didn't look like it on that swing. Then with both in scoring position, fly ball hit deep by Carlos Gonzalez, and that helps bring home the first run. Charlie Blackmon tags up and scores. Could Gibson at least limit the damage here in the first inning? Trevor Story here swings and misses at the fastball, and then with the count even, he waves at the slider outside the zone. So 1 on the board for the Rockies. We were up against German Marquez in this game, 6.53 ERA. It looked like potentially if both pitchers continue the way they've been playing, that this could be a high-scoring game. So Byron Buxton, hanging on and not letting go to that leadoff position, hits a base hit to left field just past the diving shortstop there, Trevor Story. Then you have Brian Dozier, who rips a single into left. Both teams get 2 hits back-to-back to open the day. And then we make our way to Miguel Sano, batting .348, team leading. And a big fly ball hit in the air to center, a bit underneath this one, so playable for Charlie Blackmon, as he makes the catch, and Buxton's speed will allow him to advance from second to third base. To get this run home, we needed some help from Byung-Ho Park, who has done a good job since being called up from AAA. With a 2-2 count, fly ball to right center. Blackmon giving chase and making the catch, as those first 2 hits go to waste. Let's go in the second inning now. Batter is Max Kepler, who is healed now from his strained hamstring, but is now lower in the lineup as his bat has been a little bit quiet as of late. And as I say that, pulled deep to right and hooking, foul. It's well foul, but a good swing there by Kepler, and he comes right back to put one in the gap. They're in right center, but Blackmon able to cut it off and limit Kepler to a base hit. So Jason Castro is hitting the ball pretty well for us lately. I have enjoyed him so far being a part of this team. Well, this does not quite get away from the catcher, and we get caught in a pickle here with Max Kepler as he wanted to take off, but ultimately gets out at first. So base is clear for Castro, who drives a pitch deep to right center. Does it have enough? No, it doesn't. Keeping Blackmon busy out there, he gloves it. So 1-0 Colorado, but thankfully after that first inning, Gibson really settled in. Here he strikes out the catcher Dustin Garneau. Then with DJ Lemahieu back up, a harmless ground ball hit to Brian Dozier. That's what you want to see from a sinker ball pitcher like Gibson. So on to the third inning for Minnesota. Here's Escobar to right center, filling in on short notice and doing so very well. He's actually been hitting very effectively for us. The sample size isn't great, but he's become my favorite option off the bench. Base hit here from Byron Buxton into right field. Escobar won't test it here, So we get runners at the corners for Brian Dozier, who swings at a pitch way inside and grounds into a double play. That did kind of take the wind out of our sails here, but we get a run in the process, so a tie game as Gibson continued to settle in. Carlos Gonzalez waves at one, so we go in the 4th inning, and Kepler's back at it again. Big swing deep to left, to the wall, and again, Gerardo Parra's there to glove this one. We had some good swings that just didn't go far enough. 5th inning now, Gibson ground ball to Dozier. He silenced this Rocky lineup. Looking for 4 straight perfect innings, he gets the strikeout on the changeup against Steven Cardullo. But still, our offense wasn't waking up with this opportunity. Line drive by Rosario taken away. Then an 0-2 count to Buxton as he swings and misses at the curveball. I thought Marquez gave us a lot of pitches we could crush, and he was lucky to only have 1 run allowed. Meanwhile, Gibson continuing a long stretch of dominance here, making this his best start of the season. DJ Lemahieu, though, ends the stretch with a 2-out double, grazing the chalk. Kepler getting this back in, but the Rockies do get the scoring threat. So on to their 3 spot. Nolan Arenado won't wave at the slider. 2-2 from Gibson. And a base hit into left field that gets past Miguel Sano. Rounding third as the throw comes in offline. No chance there. That was Rosario's throw. Not a very promising one. They do rule this a hit. Sano can't make the tough play. So Colorado does take the lead. But we look to match it. Dozier to right center. And another one. So many long fly balls, none would exit the yard. Joe Mauer, line drive to center. This does get down in front of Charlie Blackmon. So that takes us to Miguel Sano with 1 down. And he grounds it on to Lemahieu, who begins the 4-6-3 double play. It was really disappointing to not help out Kyle Gibson here with the run support. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, only 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Then we turn things over to Tyler Duffy. You probably know by now that I've liked the way he's played. He's 26 years old and he has starting potential, I feel. And he helped settle down this lineup to get us on to the 7th inning. Still 2-1 Colorado. Byung-Ho Park here to lead off the inning. One hangs up and he drives it deep to left. Again we have a chance. And again! Fly ball caught at the warning track. What is going on here? We're so close to getting those big hits. So still 2-1 Colorado as Dustin Garneau strikes out here. Tyler Duffy does lead us in innings pitched and strikeouts as a reliever. Another one here. Charlie Blackmon doesn't like the outside fastball. Then to finish off the 8th, not quite yet. DJ Lemahieu again down the line as Kepler has some trouble there at the wall. And Lemahieu ends up with his 2nd double down the right field line. Next up, Arenado. And another hit that gets off the glove of Miguel Sano. And that allows Lemahieu to come around to score, and the Rockies take a 3-1 lead. Those last 2 scoring plays came on scorchers right past Sano. They're not errors, but I guess it's just disappointing to be losing the game this way. So Greg Holland comes into the game in the 9th inning for the Rockies. We've done a great job late in games. Do we have any more magic left? Well, Dozier strikes out. Then Mauer looks at a splitter there on the corner, so the count is full. He grounds it on to third. Tough play made there by Arenado, and the throw gets him at first. Phenomenal play by Nolan Arenado. Here's a 2nd look as he makes the tough play, sliding to his right, and still a perfect throw to get out Joe Mauer. So down to our last out, it is the power-hitting Miguel Sano. Holland gets him behind in the count 0-2. And then comes at him with the fastball for strike 3.
Wow, nice job there. Notching career save number 159. Hey, I had 158 saves in my career, so I'll be in his rearview mirror forever.
Nice touch there from the commentary. Gotta love the little things like that. So Marquez ends up getting the win in a game where I don't think that he pitched fantastic. It surely wasn't bad. He did have a good game, but we were so close to a number of home runs that could have really changed things. Here is a sponsorship update for those of you wondering, as we just get the Evo Field sponsorship that gives us $2,500 per strikeout, so that's now in there for us. We end up dropping Game 2 to the Rockies, look to avoid a 3-game sweep as we jump in, seeing that Minnesota's already up 7-0. So good to see both sides of the game working for us. Taylor Rogers on the mound in this one doing a very good job, but eventually in the 7th inning, his shutout is taken away. Now, we didn't get much offense in that first game against the Rockies, so I wanted to spend some time here and see what we could do. Castro down the line, and that's a fair ball. Jason Castro into second. Then we ground him on to third, play some small ball, and line drive hit in the air to Blackmon. Deep enough, and that allows him to tag up from third, and Castro in there safely. Another run on the board for Minnesota. So on to the 9th with Ryan Presley, who gets the big swing and miss, and then a fly ball hit to shallow center. Buxton races in, and the Minnesota Twins do take the series finale against the Colorado Rockies. Well, that is now 6 straight series we have lost. We haven't been swept. That's like the best news of all of it. But still, we've lost 2 of 3, 6 times in a row. And even being a rebuilding team coming off a 100-plus loss season, we are below expectations at the moment. We're going to jump into a series now against the Kansas City Royals and take a look at Hector Santiago. In his first year here with the Twins, he was previously with the LA Angels. He also spent time with the rival White Sox. Now, in most of his seasons, he's had his ERA in the 3s. He was 4.7 last year. And the hope is that the 29-year-old could find a spot in this rotation, but this year he's had his ERA over 7, has not pitched that well for us. So, I wanted to see him against the division rival here, the Royals. Here's Eric Hosmer with a full count as he hits a base hit to center, and Lorenzo Cain, who got on base earlier, comes around to score. 1-0 already. Giving up these first inning runs never feels good, but thankfully Santiago does end the inning after that, striking out Alex Gordon. Now in this game we were up against Ian Kennedy. Great year for him entering this game, and he has that Vulcan change and a knuckle curve, so not a fun pitcher to face all the time. But Sano here getting a hold of one, deep to right, off the wall. And Sano is in with a 2-out double. Minnesota trying to match. Next up, you have Byung-Ho Park as a pitch is left up, and Park hits a single into left. Sano cannot come around to score, so we need one more. And here's Max Kepler fouling off that Vulcan change. 2-2. And the Vulcan change gets him for strike 3 to end the inning. So with the first inning in the books, could Santiago bounce back? Well, he gets lucky on this one. Moustakas looks at a curveball right down central as Santiago gets his second strikeout. With 2 down, Chesler Cuthbert down the line, and that stays fair. And his speed is enough to wheel him around first and reach second safely. We're seeing plenty of hits against us in this episode on hits just staying fair down the line. So with Cuthbert at second, Merrifield gets a hit into left, and here's Eddie Rosario as Cuthbert looks to test his arm, this time on point. And the out is there easily. Good throw there by Eddie Rosario after he had that poor attempt earlier in the episode. Good to see him make this, so it stays 1-0. In the third now for Hector Santiago, and righties continuing to mash. Another hit into left field that goes to the wall. Extra bases again for Kansas City. Then, thankfully, a lefty as Eric Hosmer pops one up into shallow right. Kepler is there. Everything seems fine until Kepler just lets it go through his glove, and the runner at second advances. Wonderful. Next up is Jorge Soler, who blasts one deep to left. And off the wall for extra bases. 1 run comes home. Hosmer stays at third, but 2 in scoring position. He just was not able to get the righties out. With the lefty Alex Gordon up, Santiago gets him jammed and popped up into foul territory. So 2 down. Could Santiago limit the damage there? Curveball in there to Salvador Perez, who's behind in the count. And then Perez waves at the cutter. Santiago very fortunate to only allow 2 runs in those first 3 innings. Those right-handed bats were very concerning. Could we get some runs back, though? We got to help our pitchers out more. Here's Robbie Grossman with a drive to center. Again with some carry, but it's caught out near the warning track by Lorenzo Cain. Then back to the top of the order as Buxton swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. He strikes out. Business as usual for Ian Kennedy, who then gets Brian Dozier on the knuckle curve. Kennedy playing phenomenal early on. Into the fourth, Santiago still in the game, as this pitch just gets away from him, and he hits Moustakas in the back. That's when the control became concerning, and then he walked Lorenzo Cain. Don't need to give that kind of speed a free base like that. Santiago once again in a jam, and a righty once again taking advantage. Slow roller into center, and then Buxton overruns it. Doesn't cost us anything, but it just seems to be piling on at this point. Base hit then to left, and it gets past Rosario somehow, just kind of runs past it, and that allows another run to come around, and Kansas City opens up the lead. They make it 5-0 as Tyler Duffy enters the game. That's been our go-to reliever, trying to slow down the Royal righties, as he does get the strikeout here on Jorge Soler. But how about this offense? They were quiet in the Rockies series, quiet again here, so Miguel Sano walks on a strike. We'll take it, whatever we can get at this point. Next, Byung-Ho Park, hitting a base hit into left, and that pitch left up with an 0-2 count. So the first two aboard for us. We have a little something going here. Next up, Jason Castro with a drive to center, going a long way out of here. Finally, one of these gets out. 450 plus feet. Don't see too many home runs going to that section next to the catch. Correction, only 445 feet, and here's the look at the ball sailing into that small section of fans, and a phenomenal catch out there. Not bad. Very nice. So 5-3. We're getting back in this thing. Needs some good innings, though, from Tyler Duffy. The Royals had 8 hits and 5 runs off Santiago. And Duffy here gets the strikeout on the curveball against Alex Gordon. Then you have Mike Moustakas, 2-2 count, and a ground ball up the middle, but played by Dozier. Got him at first. Let's go on to the 6th inning now. Duffy staying in the game. Cuthbert leads off and hits one in the air to right center, and that gets down for extra bases. A leadoff double for the Royals. Next up is Cuthbert at the bottom of the order. And he lines one past Rosario into left center. Back to back, gapping doubles for the Royals, and they tack on another run. Now we're seeing Duffy get into some trouble here. Runners at the corners, and another hit to bring in another run. Tyler Duffy had a very poor outing this time around. Only got 4 outs and allowed 3 runs. So 8-3. And here was our chance to get back in the game. 2 on for Miguel Sano. Base hit into right. Buxton staying at third, leaving the bases loaded with nobody out for Byung-Ho Park. And again, Kennedy hanging up a breaking ball as Park delivers the single. 1 run scores and the bases stay loaded. Then we made maybe a strange move as we pinch hit Joe Mauer for Max Kepler. He's slightly better against lefties. Wanted to make the most of this chance, but Mauer's slicing hit here goes wide. And then a ground ball hit to the second baseman, and they will gladly trade that run for 2 outs. It's 8-5. Eduardo Escobar then, line drive to center, and Cain takes it away. Fantastic catch by Lorenzo Cain, and that keeps it 8-5. Kansas City then tacked on another run off Michael Tonkin to make it 9-5. So down to our last out, Robbie Grossman grounds on to second, and the Royals take care of this game. So we wanted to take a look at Hector Santiago. He did not have a very good start. He gets the loss and moves to 1-5. He did not finish 4 innings, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. ERA now up to 7.54. Meanwhile, Kennedy went 7 innings, allowed that 3-run home run, but struck out 11 to get the victory. So what we're going to do now is really change things up. This is something I've wanted to do in this series, and periodically we are going to spend some time with our minor league affiliates. So why don't we go down to AA here, Chattanooga, and meet Nick Gordon. one of our best young prospects. He is our top prospect ranked in the top 50 in Major League Baseball. And he is the brother, of course, of D. Gordon, and he's a shortstop. Now, we have Jorge Polanco over at short right now, but there is certainly room for another middle infielder, especially given the current age of Brian Dozier and him being a potential trade option for us. Gordon is a player that hit very well in the month of April, over 300, but has cooled off in the month of May, and that's why it's not a good idea to make moves quickly, especially with young players in the minors. If he continues to play well this year and just bounces back from this current cold streak, I expect he'll be at spring training with us next year, and we'll see what he's all about. I don't think his bat is ready yet for AAA or the majors, and he still has some work to do as a fielder, but he's 21 years old, has plenty of potential, and will be very patient with our top prospects. I'd say his best asset right now is as a fielder, which we get a good glimpse of in this quick game here with Chattanooga. He looked very good over there at shortstop. Chattanooga does get the victory, and they are the most likely team out of them, Rochester, and the Twins to make the postseason this year. So we'll keep an eye on their season as we continue. But let's go back to the majors now. Dozier not liking that slider up and in. It's a 1-1 ball game in the 9th inning. So trying to take another game late, Dozier rips a base hit into left. In this game, Minnesota was trying to save a potential sweep, as the Royals already took the series, and here Park strikes out. So we do go to extras. On the mound, we have Justin Haley, the rookie reliever, and he gets the nice ground out here of Eric Hosmer. Next up, Mike Moustakas with a line drive hit to Mauer. So on we go to bottom 10. Batting, we have Eduardo Escobar, as he taps one to the right side. And look at this fluid play from Hosmer back to Mike Minor for the putout. Into the 11th, and routine ground ball here at shortstop. Eduardo Escobar still filling in for Jorge Polanco, still not fully healed yet. Don't want to take any chances with him. And then Buxton, bottom 11, pulling one to left, but not all that deep. So just back and forth again, the pitcher's controlling things, and Haley doing a really nice job. His pitch count was up there, but so was his effectiveness, so he just kept playing. And finishes off the 12th inning here, striking out Alcides Escobar. Bottom 12, Brian Dozier's up, trying to end things, going to right center. And that's just going to be another routine catch. Let's go to the 13th. Haley staying in the game. Eric Hosmer looks at a curveball down and in. And then Haley with a 1-1, challenging him upstairs. And Hosmer goes the other way with it. And this ball gets out. Haley does have the stamina to be a starter, but maybe went one inning too long in this game. It's a 1-run lead for Kansas City, and here's Kelvin Herrera. We had the blown save against him early this year in the first episode. Now, he's looking to shut us down as Escobar swings and misses at the changeup. Down to our last out, here's Chris Jimenez driving one to right, but an easy play and Kansas City completes the sweep. Herrera gets us down in order this time. Kansas City with a good showing in this 3-game series. Now, Kyle Gibson did start this game for us, pitched well again, allowing 1 run. Justin Haley also pitched 6 innings, only allowed 1 run. So next episode, we are going to mix some things up with our starting rotation, as we are now 15 and 28. My plan is to find someone at AAA to call up. You'll see the numbers here soon, but I'm debating either Nick Tepesch or Fernando Romero. Both have sub-3 ERAs right now. Tepesch is 28 years old, while Fernando Romero is only 22 and has more potential. So I would like to get a look at him here at the Major League level, but I'm wondering if now is the right time. Regardless, I'm going to make a move and probably send down Adalberto Mejia and move Hector Santiago from the rotation to the bullpen, because I do want to have a lefty there, and maybe we can keep him specifically for left-handed bats that are giving us some trouble. Against righties, he wasn't very effective. We only have 1 lefty in the bullpen right now. It's all out of balance, but I'll get it fixed eventually. Then we'll get to see what Mejia does when he's down at AAA and if he can bounce back this year at all. So what pitcher do you want to see me call up for episode number 6? When we return next time, we will see that new pitcher on display as we face teams we have yet to see in this series. Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Houston to close out the month of May. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Minnesota Twins franchise. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and leave your feedback. I will see you all next time. Have a great day.